Have you ever wondered just how powerful the United States' nuclear capabilities truly are? This is not just a question of idle curiosity. It's a question that has shaped the course of history, defined international relations, and continues to hold the world in a delicate balance. The United States, ever since the dawn of the nuclear age, has been a key player in this high-stakes game of power and deterrence. The United States' nuclear capabilities are more than just numbers and statistics. They are a testament to human ingenuity, to our ability to harness the fundamental forces of nature. Yet they also serve as a stark reminder of our capacity for destruction. Imagine a force so potent that it can level entire cities, alter the climate, and cause generations of genetic damage. That's the grim reality of nuclear power. But it's not just about the raw destructive capability. It's about the strategy, the politics, and the chilling doctrine of mutually assured destruction. The United States nuclear arsenal is shrouded in secrecy, but what we do know is staggering. Thousands of warheads, each many times more powerful than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Intercontinental ballistic missiles that can strike any point on the globe. Submarines lurking in the depths of the ocean, ready to unleash their deadly payload at a moment's notice. Yet the true power of the United States' nuclear capabilities lies not in their sheer magnitude, but in their psychological impact. The threat of nuclear war has shaped our world, influencing everything from international diplomacy to popular culture. It's a power that goes far beyond the physical. It's a power that permeates every aspect of our lives. So as we delve deeper into this topic, keep in mind that we're not just talking about bombs and missiles. We're talking about a force that has defined the modern world, a force that continues to loom over us like a dark cloud. Stay tuned as we unravel the dark realities behind the USA's nuclear capabilities. The journey begins in the mid-20th century, during the darkest days of World War II. This period of human history is marked by the introduction of a new form of energy, one that held the potential to both revolutionize our world and to bring about its destruction. This was the birth of nuclear power. In the United States, a group of scientists and military personnel were working on a secret project, one that would change the course of the war and shape the future of international relations. This was the Manhattan Project, a top-secret initiative that aimed to harness the power of the atom and develop a weapon unlike any the world had ever seen. The project was a response to fears that the Axis powers, particularly Nazi Germany, were developing their own atomic weapons. The race was on to unlock the secrets of the atom first. The Manhattan Project brought together some of the greatest minds of the time, including Robert Oppenheimer, Enrico Fermi, and Albert Einstein, who had warned President Roosevelt about the possibility of atomic weapons. In 1945, their efforts bore fruit in the form of two atomic bombs, named Little Boy and Fat Man. These were dropped on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, resulting in devastating destruction and loss of life. The bombings effectively ended the Second World War, but they also marked the beginning of the nuclear age. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki demonstrated the horrific destructive power of nuclear weapons. The mushroom clouds that rose over these cities became a symbol of a new era, one in which humanity had the power to destroy itself. The world watched in awe and horror, realizing the game had changed forever. In the aftermath, many of the scientists who had contributed to the Manhattan Project expressed regret and horror at the devastation their creation had caused. Einstein famously said, "If only I had known, I should have become a watchmaker." The destructive power of these weapons was just the beginning. The birth of nuclear power had opened Pandora's box, and the world would never be the same again. As the Cold War dawned, a new race began, a race for nuclear supremacy. The world held its breath as two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, engaged in a perilous contest of nuclear brinkmanship. At the heart of the Cold War was the nuclear arms race, a terrifying contest of one-upmanship. Each side strived to outdo the other, developing and stockpiling thousands of nuclear warheads. The stakes were high. The very survival of nations and the fate of the world hung in the balance. The United States, having used nuclear weapons to end World War II, was initially the only nuclear-armed power. But by 1949, the Soviet Union had developed their own atomic bomb, setting the stage for a decades-long arms race. The race for nuclear supremacy was on, and it was a sprint neither side could afford to lose. In the ensuing years, the world watched in trepidation as the number of nuclear warheads grew exponentially. By the mid-60s, the United States had amassed over 30,000 warheads, while the Soviet Union had over 20,000. But this race was not just about the number of weapons. It was also about their power and sophistication. Both superpowers continuously strive to develop more advanced and destructive weapons. From thermonuclear bombs to intercontinental ballistic missiles, the arms race pushed the boundaries of technology and ingenuity, all in the pursuit of a dubious supremacy. Yet, this relentless pursuit of power came with a heavy price. The risk of nuclear war, whether by accident or design, was a constant threat. The Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear annihilation, a chilling reminder of the catastrophic potential of this arms race. However, the end of the Cold War didn't mean the end of nuclear threats. The weapons developed during this period still exist, and the knowledge of how to build them cannot be unlearned. The Cold War may be over, but the legacy of the nuclear arms race continues to cast a long shadow over our world. Fast forward to today, the USA still possesses one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals. Indeed, it's a reality that can send chills down your spine. With an estimated 4,500 nuclear warheads, the United States is a formidable force on the global stage. This is not just a number, but a testament to the immense power that the country wields. These warheads are not relics of a bygone era. They are modern, sophisticated, and incredibly destructive. Each one is capable of unleashing devastation on an unimaginable scale. A single warhead detonated at the right place and time can obliterate a city, wipe out millions of lives, and alter the course of history. So, why does the USA maintain such a massive nuclear arsenal? The answer lies in a doctrine known as nuclear deterrence. This strategy is predicated on the idea that the threat of nuclear retaliation will deter other nations from launching an attack. It's a game of high-stakes poker where the chips are cities and the players are nations. But it's not just about deterrence. The USA's nuclear arsenal is also a tool of diplomacy. It's a symbol of power that can be leveraged in negotiations and used to influence international affairs. It's a bargaining chip, a deterrent, and a shield all rolled into one. Yet the USA's commitment to nuclear deterrence is not without controversy. Critics argue that it perpetuates a dangerous arms race, encourages proliferation, and increases the risk of accidental nuclear war. They believe that the world would be safer if nations moved away from nuclear weapons and embraced disarmament. But proponents of nuclear deterrence counter these arguments. They contend that nuclear weapons have helped maintain peace and stability in the post-World War II era. They argue that disarmament is a noble goal, but not a practical one in a world where nuclear technology is widely available. These debates are complex and far from resolved. They reflect the difficult choices that come with wielding such immense power. And they raise a question that we all must grapple with. What is the true cost of security in a nuclear age? But what are the implications of such immense power? With great power comes great responsibility. A phrase that rings especially true in the context of nuclear weapons. As we delve into the dark realities of the USA's nuclear capabilities, we find ourselves treading on ground that is both terrifying and thought-provoking. The mere existence of these weapons of mass destruction carries a host of potential dangers and ethical dilemmas that are impossible to ignore. One of the most chilling aspects is the potential for accidents. Despite rigorous safety measures, human error and technical malfunctions pose a constant threat. There have been numerous close calls in the past, including the Goldsboro incident in 1961, when a B-52 bomber broke apart mid-air, dropping 2 nuclear bombs over North Carolina. By sheer luck, neither detonated. Then there's the environmental impact. Producing and maintaining a nuclear arsenal generates vast amounts of radioactive waste, which poses a long-term threat to both human health and the environment. The Hanford site in Washington state, once a major producer of plutonium, now ranks among the most contaminated places on Earth. And what about the ethical implications? The sheer destructive power of these weapons raises profound questions about our responsibility as a species. Can we justify holding such power, knowing the devastation it could wreak upon the world and its inhabitants? This is a matter of intense debate among philosophers, politicians, and everyday citizens alike. The truth is, nuclear weapons are not just a tool of power or a deterrent to war. They are an immense burden, a Pandora's box that, once opened, cannot be easily closed. They demand constant vigilance, careful management, and a deeply ingrained respect for the potential havoc they can unleash. So next time you ponder the power of the USA's nuclear arsenal, remember the dark realities that come with it. It's not just about the number of warheads or the size of the explosions, it's about the weight of responsibility, the shadow of potential disaster, and the stark ethical questions that such power inevitably raises.